Good Morning America viewers were left stunned on November 22, 2025 when country superstar Faith Hill was abruptly escorted off the set midway through what was supposed to be a light-hearted holiday segment promoting her new Christmas album. The incident began innocently enough with Hill seated on the iconic GMA couch alongside co-hosts George Stephanopoulos, Robin Roberts, and Michael Strahan. The conversation started with the usual pleasantries about family traditions and new music. But tension quickly escalated when Stephanopoulos pivoted to a question about Hill's recent social media activity. Sources inside the studio say the turning point came when Stephanopoulos referenced a series of posts in which Hill had strongly criticized certain Democratic policies on border security and inflation, posts that had already sparked controversy among her fan base. Hill, known for keeping her political opinions relatively private in recent years, appeared caught off guard by the direct line of questioning during what was billed as an apolitical holiday appearance. Eyewitnesses report that her smile faded almost instantly, and she responded with a terse "I didn't come here to talk politics, George." The exchange reportedly grew heated within seconds, with Hill accusing the host of ambushing her on national television. Producers allegedly made the unprecedented decision to cut to commercial 2 full minutes early while security personnel approached the stage area. By the time the broadcast returned, Hill was gone, and Stephanopoulos delivered a brief, awkward statement saying only that the interview had concluded earlier than planned. The moment immediately went viral across social media platforms, with the hashtag #FaithVsGeorge trending worldwide within the hour. Behind-the-scenes sources claimed the clash was years in the making and stemmed from a deeper ideological divide between the singer and the longtime ABC anchor. Faith Hill, once seen as a moderate voice in country music, has in recent years quietly shifted toward more conservative positions, particularly after spending significant time in Tennessee and observing what she describes as the real-world impact of certain federal policies on rural communities. George Stephanopoulos, a former senior advisor to President Bill Clinton and a fixture of the Washington establishment, had never hidden his center-left worldview, and insiders say he felt compelled to challenge Hill after her November 18 Instagram post declaring that working families can't afford 4 more years of the same failed ideas. Production staff reportedly warned Stephanopoulos before the segment that Hill's team had explicitly requested no political questions, but the host allegedly believed the posts were fair game given their public nature and the singer's willingness to share them with millions of followers. When Hill pushed back live on air, reportedly telling Stephanopoulos, "You people in New York don't understand what's happening in the rest of America," the control room went into chaos. Multiple producers were screaming into headsets while the director frantically searched for a clean commercial break. Robin Roberts and Michael Strahan sat in visible discomfort as the argument unfolded, with Strahan at one point attempting to lighten the mood by joking about eggnog, only to be ignored by both parties. By the time security arrived, Hill had already removed her microphone and was gathering her belongings, telling a stage manager, "I'm not doing this," as she walked off. ABC executives immediately went into damage control mode, with some reportedly furious that a feel-good holiday segment had spiraled into a national headline. The fallout was immediate and brutal for Good Morning America's reputation. Within minutes of Hill's departure, her husband Tim McGraw posted a black square on Instagram with the caption "Proud of my wife today," which garnered over 2 million likes in the first hour. Conservative commentators seized on the moment as yet another example of mainstream media bias, with several prominent voices accusing ABC of deliberately sabotaging a country artist who dared to stray from the approved Hollywood narrative. Meanwhile, some progressive outlets framed Stephanopoulos as courageously holding a celebrity accountable for spreading what they called divisive rhetoric during a time of national healing. Faith Hill herself broke her silence that afternoon with a lengthy statement on X, writing that she had agreed to appear on GMA purely to promote music and share holiday joy with fans, only to be blindsided by a political interrogation. She went on to say that while she respects differing viewpoints, she found the ambush disrespectful to viewers who simply wanted to hear about Christmas songs. The statement ended with Hill announcing that all scheduled television appearances for the remainder of the promotional cycle were under review. Ratings data released later that day showed GMA experienced its highest single-segment viewership in 18 months, with millions apparently tuning in specifically to watch the viral clip of Hill's walk-off. Advertising partners reportedly expressed mixed reactions, with some country music-friendly brands quietly reaching out to Hill's team to offer support while others worried about being associated with the controversy. Disney executives, who own ABC, were said to be monitoring the situation closely, aware that any further misstep could alienate a significant portion of Middle America viewers. By evening, the incident had evolved into a full-blown culture war flashpoint. Country radio stations across the South began playing Faith Hill's classic hits in solidarity, with several DJs openly praising her for standing up to the liberal media elite. The official Good Morning America Twitter account posted and then quickly deleted a statement claiming the interview had simply run long, a move that only fueled more backlash as screenshots spread like wildfire. George Stephanopoulos remained silent throughout the day, though sources close to him say he was shocked by the intensity of the reaction and believed he was asking legitimate journalistic questions of a public figure who had willingly entered the political arena. ABC News President Kim Godwin reportedly held an emergency meeting with senior producers to discuss whether on-air talent needed clearer guidelines about questioning celebrity guests on controversial statements. Meanwhile, Faith Hill's new Christmas single rocketed to #1 on iTunes country chart, with fans leaving thousands of 5-star reviews explicitly mentioning their support following the GMA incident. Late-night hosts began preparing monologues, with some already joking that Hill had just delivered the most authentic country moment on network television in decades. The Country Music Association issued a carefully worded statement neither condemning nor defending Hill but emphasizing that artists should feel safe discussing their work without fear of personal attacks. As night fell, Times Square billboards that were scheduled to feature Hill promoting her album mysteriously went dark, prompting speculation about whether sponsors had begun pulling support under pressure. Both camps appeared to be digging in for a prolonged battle over narrative control. 24 hours later, the story showed no signs of fading. Major news outlets devoted entire segments to analyzing whether Good Morning America had crossed a line by turning a holiday interview into a political confrontation. Conservative podcasts experienced record downloads as hosts played the unedited studio audio that had begun circulating online, complete with Hill's final mic drop line, "I'm done being polite to people who don't care about real Americans." Progressive commentators countered that celebrities cannot expect to post inflammatory political content and then demand immunity when appearing on news programs. Faith Hill spent the day at her Nashville home with family, reportedly turning down all interview requests while her publicist worked overtime to manage the crisis. Behind the scenes, multiple networks were said to be reaching out with offers for Hill to tell her side of the story on more sympathetic platforms. ABC issued a formal apology late Monday, with a spokesperson stating that the network regrets if Miss Hill felt ambushed and affirming their admiration for her decades-long contribution to music. The apology was immediately rejected by Hill's team as insufficient, with sources saying the singer felt personally betrayed by Stephanopoulos, whom she had considered a friend after previous friendly appearances. Sales of her entire back catalog surged across streaming platforms, with Spotify reporting a 400% increase in plays of her 1998 hit This Kiss. Country music veterans like Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton both posted cryptic messages of support on social media that fans interpreted as standing with Hill. The incident exposed once again the fragile relationship between traditional country artists and the coastal media establishment.